Hare Krishna to all devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Yeah.
Shri Nityananda Chandram Patita Sharanadam Gauradam Tam Bhajeham Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shirvasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudire. Nastaparaishva bhadraisu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavati uttama sloke bhaktir bhavati naishthiki. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 5. Frustration of the sacrifice of Daksha. Maitreya uvacha Bhavo bhavanya dhanam prajapate asakritaya avagamya nardat swaparshada sainyam chatad advarar bhubhi vidravitam krodham aparamadadhe.
Maitri said, when Lord Shiva heard from Narad that Sati, his wife, was now dead, because of Prajapati Daksha's insult to her, and that his soldiers had been driven away by the Ribhu demigods, he became greatly angered.
क्रुद्धः सुदष्टोष्ठः पुतः सधूर्जतेर् जतां तदिद्वह्नि सतोग्ररोचिषम् उत्कृत्य रुद्रः सहसोत्थितो हसन् गम्भीरनादो विससर्जतां भुवि.
Thus Lord Shiva became extremely angry, pressed his lips with his teeth, and immediately snatched from his head a strand of hair which blazed like electricity or fire. He stood up at once, laughing like a madman, and dashed the hair to the ground.
ततोतिकायस्तनुवास्पृशन् दिवं सहस्रबाहुर्घनरोक्त्रिसूर्यद्री करालदंस्त्रोज्ज्वलदग्निमूर्धजः कपालमाली विविधोद्यतायुधः.
A fearful black demon, as high as the sky and as bright as 3 suns combined, was thereby created. His teeth very fearful, and the hairs on his head like burning fire. He had thousands of arms, equipped with various weapons, and he was garlanded with the heads of men.
Tam kin karomiti grinandamaha badhanjalim bhagavan bhutanatha daksham sayagyam jahimad tvam agrani rudrabhatam sakumi.
When that gigantic demon asked with folded hands, "What shall I do, my lord?" Lord Shiva, who is known as Bhutanath, directly ordered, "Because you are born from my body, you are the chief of all my associates. Therefore, kill Daksha and his soldiers at the sacrifice." Ooh.
Agyam taevam kupitena manyuna सदेव देवं परिचक्रमे विभुं मिने तदात्मानम् असङ्गरं हसा मह्यथां तात सह सहिष्णुम्.
Maitreya continued, my dear Vidu, that black person was personified anger of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he was prepared to execute the orders of Lord Shiva. Thus, considering himself capable of coping with any power offered against him, he circumambulated Lord Shiva.
अन्वीयमानः सतुरुद्रपार्षदे वर्षं नदद्भिर्व्यनदत् सुभैरवम् उद्यम्य शूलं जगदन्तकान्तकं सम्प्राद्रवद्घोषणभूषणाङ्घ्रिः.
Many other soldiers of Lord Shiva followed the fierce personality in a tumultuous uproar. He carried a great trident, fearful enough to kill even death. And on his legs he wore bangles which seemed to roar. So, let's have a look at the first 6 verses. Surrender, Prabhu, over to you.
Hare Krishna and Dandavat to all the Vaishnavas and Thai Gaura Hari Bol. So we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 5. It's about the frustration of the sacrifice of Daksha, and demon Virabhadra is born, verses 1 to 6. Hearing from Narada of Sati's death, Shiva angrily snatched a blazing hair from his head. Madly dashing the hair to the ground, Shiva created a fearful black demon, Virabhadra, who carried many weapons in his arms, chief of which was a great trident. Shiva then ordered the obedient demon to kill Daksha. Yeah, so this is explaining the escalation of the conflict which had been taking place between Daksha and Lord Shiva, and it climaxed after Daksha committed offense to his daughter Sati, and eventually Sati decided to burn the body with mystic yoga fire, and this is escalation. So even today at work we have like conflict resolution courses we have to follow. So in this way, when Sati passed away, so then there was no question of peace making or some harmony or some kind of compromise. The decision was made by Lord Shiva after snatching of his hair, and the demon Virabhadra was born. So he gave a direct instruction to kill Daksha, like that. So this is the escalation of the conflict. Krishna Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Lena, would you like to read the English?
Yes, please.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
अथर्त विजोय च मानः सदस्याः ककुभि उद्दिच्छां प्रशमीक्षरेणुं तमः किमेतत् कुतैतद्रजोऽभूत् इति द्विजा द्विजपत्न्यश्च दध्युः.
At that time, all the persons assembled in the sacrificial arena, the priests, the chief of the sacrificial performance, and the brahmanas and their wives, wondered where the darkness was coming from. Later, they could understand that it was a dust storm, and all of them were, I can't see all of them, were full of anxiety.
वातानवान्ति नहि शन्ति दस्यवः प्राचीन्न बर्हिर्जीवति उग्रदन्दः गावो न काल्यन्त इदं कुतो रजो लोकोऽधुना किं प्रलयाय कल्पते.
Conjecturing on the origin of the storm, they said, "There is no wind blowing, and no cows are passing. Nor is it possible that this dust storm could be raised by plunderers, for there is still the strong king Barhi, who would punish them. Where is this dust storm blowing from? Is the dissolution of the planet now to occur?"
Mhm.
प्रश्रुतिमिस्राः स्त्रिय उद्वियाचिता उच्चुर्विपाको वृषिजन् चैव तस्य यत् पश्यन्तीनां दुहितॄन् न प्रजेशः सुतां सतीम् अवदध्या अनागाम्.
Prashuti, the wife of Daksha, along with the other women assembled, became very anxious and said, "This danger has been created by Daksha because of the death of Sati, who, even though completely innocent, quit her body as her sisters looked on."
यस्त्वन्तकाले व्युक्तजटाकलापः स्वशूलसूचीर्पितदिग्गजेन्द्रः वितत्य उदितास्त्रदोर्ध्वजान् उच्चाट्टहासस्तनयिन्युभिन्नदिक्.
At the time of dissolution, Lord Shiva's hair is scattered, and he pierces the rulers of the different directions with his trident. He laughs and dances proudly, scattering their hands like flags, as thunder scatters the clouds all over the world.
अमरसैवातम् असह्य तेजसं मन्युप्लुतं दुर्निरीक्षं भृकुत्या करालदंष्ट्राभिरुदस्तभागनं स्यात् स्वस्ति किं कोपयतु विधातुः.
The gigantic black man bared his fearful teeth. At the movements of his brows, he scattered the luminaries all over the sky, and he covered them with his strong, piercing effulgence. Because of the misbehavior of Daksha, even Lord Brahma, Daksha's father, could not have been saved from the great exhibition of anger.
बहवेवमुद्विग्न्यादृशोच्यमाने जनेन दक्षस्य मुहुर्महात्मनः उत्पेतुरुत्पाततमः सहस्रसो भयावहा देवी भूमौ च पर्याम्.
While all the people talked amongst themselves, Daksha saw dangerous omens from all sides, from the earth and from the sky.
तावत् सरुद्रानुचुरेर्महामखो नानायुधैर्वामनकैरुदायुधैः पिङ्गैः पिशङ्गैर्मकरोधराननैः पर्याद्रवाद्भिर्विदुरान्वरुध्यत.
My dear Vidur, all the followers of Lord Shiva surrounded the arena of sacrifice. They were of short stature and were equipped with various kinds of weapons. Their bodies appeared to be like those of sharks, blackish and yellowish. They ran all around the sacrificial arena, and thus began to create disturbances.
केचित् भवञ्जुः प्राग्वंशं पत्नीशालां तथा परे सदा निद्रशालां च तद्विधारं महानसम्.
Some of the soldiers pulled down the pillars which were supporting the pendle of sacrifice. Some of them entered the female quarters. Some began destroying the sacrificial arena, and some entered the kitchen and the residential quarters.
रुरोजोर्यन्नपात्राणि तथैकेऽग्नीन् अनाशयन् कुण्डेष्वमुत्त्रयन् केचित् बिभिदुर्वैति मेखलाः.
They broke all the pots made for use in the sacrifice, and some of them began to extinguish the sacrificial fire. Some tore down the boundary line of the sacrificial arena, and some passed urine on the arena.
अबाधन्तमुनिन्नन्ये एके पत्नीरतर्जयन् अपरे जग्रहुर्देवान् प्रत्यासन्नां पलायितान्.
Some blocked the way of the fleeing sages, some threatened the women assembled there, and some arrested the demigods who were fleeing the pendle.
Okay, so let's go to the summary. Okay, over to you, Surendra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Lord Shiva's followers attack, verses 7 to 16. Raising a dust storm, Shiva's followers attacked all those gathered at Daksha's sacrifice. They destroyed the pandal and the sacrificial arena, threatened the women, and arrested the fleeing demigods. Yes, it's a description of the attack by the servants of Lord Shiva. And as we mentioned earlier, like initially the conflict was between Daksha and Lord Shiva. Then it built up. Then Sati, the wife of Lord Shiva, was involved. Then there was the attendants of Sati who were present at the sacrificial arena. They started fighting, and then the Ribhu demigods were called, and then two small groups were fighting. And now Lord Shiva is counter-attacking. He has sent Virabhadra with massive soldiers, and hence now it has escalated. Now it's a war between two big groups and powerful servitors of Lord Shiva, Virabhadra. So this is how things get escalated. It is said that in the minds of men, the ideas of war begin, and in the minds of men, the solution, that is peaceful negotiation ideas, and should be implemented, and to avoid war, because war doesn't benefit either party, the attacker or the one who is been attacked. And just by the way, this is we can be reminded that currently there is a war between Israel and Gaza. And now Gaza terrorists have attacked Israel, and now Israel is escalating with bigger attacks. So in this way, up to now, such activity happens. So we have to orientate towards Sudha Bhakti, Krishna Bhakti, Krishna consciousness, and therefore then there will be peace. Otherwise, war is inevitable. Hare Krishna.
Yes. Sometimes two parties never see eye to eye, and in those circumstances, best to just keep away from each other rather than cause such heavy destruction. But anyway, easier said than done.
भृगुम्बबन्धमणिमान् वीरभद्रः प्रजापतिं चण्डेशः पूषणं देवं भगं नन्दीश्वरो गृहीत्.
Maniman, one of the followers of Lord Shiva, arrested Bhrigu Muni, and Virabhadra, the black demon, arrested Prajapati Daksha. Another follower, who was named Chandesha, arrested Pusha. Nandishvara arrested the demigod Bhaga.
सर्वा एवर्तविजो दृष्ट्वा सदस्याः सादिवोकशः तैरद्यमानः सुभृष्टं ग्रावभिर्नैकधा द्रवन्.
There was a continuous shower of stones, and all the priests and other members assembled at the sacrifice were put into immense misery. For fear of their lives, they dispersed in different directions.
जुहुवतः शुभहस्तस्य स्मश्रूणि भगवान् भवः भृगोर्लुलुञ्चे सदसि यो हसत् चंश्रुदर्शयन्.
Virabhadra tore off the moustache of Bhrigu, who was offering the sacrificial oblations with his hands in the fire.
भगस्य नेत्रे भगवान् पातितस्य रुषा भुवि उजहार सदस्थोक्ष्णा यः सपन्तम् अशुसुचत्.
Virabhadra immediately caught Bhag, who had been moving his eyebrows during Bhrigu's cursing of Lord Shiva, and out of great anger thrust him to the ground and forcibly put out his eyes.
Phew.
पुष्णो ह्यापादयत् दन्तान् कालिङ्गस्य यथा बलः सप्यमाने गरीमणि यो हसद्दर्शयन् दतः.
Just as Baldev knocked out the teeth of Dantavakra, the king of Kalinga, during the gambling match at the marriage ceremony of Aniruddha, Virabhadra knocked out the teeth of both Daksha, who had shown them while cursing Lord Shiva, and Pusha, who by smiling sympathetically had also shown his teeth.
Okay. Oops. What happened? Okay.
Hare Krishna. So Daksha and followers punished. Verses 17 to 21. Virabhadra tore off Bhrigu Muni's mustache. Blinded Bhaga and knocked out the teeth of Pusha, who had shown his teeth when Daksha had cursed Shiva. So even while sort of laughing or showing teeth, one should be very careful. If this act becomes like an offense to a great Vaishnava like Lord Shiva, then this will bear karmic reaction. So it is explained by Gauranga Mahaprabhu in Gaura Lila, where there is a verse in Prem Dham Deva Stotram as follows: Sloka Ganga Vandanartha Digjigi Shubhashitam Vyachalankritadi Dosha Tarkithartha Dhushitam Dhvasta Yukti Rudha Budhi Data Dhima Dhadharam Premadham Devameva Nami Gaura Sundaram. So when Gauranga Mahaprabhu had defeated the Digvijay Pandit Keshava Kashmiri in a debate on the sloka on Ganga, so the students of Gauranga Mahaprabhu was laughing at the Digvijay Pandit when he lost. So but the Gauranga Mahaprabhu intervened and he stopped the students from laughing at the Digvijay Pandit. In this way, Gauranga Mahaprabhu saved the students from committing severe offense to the Vaishnava like the Digvijay Pandit. Also in the Leela where Chitraketu, he laughs and make comments at Lord Shiva when Parvati was sitting on his lap. So then he got cursed by Parvati for such laughing and comments, and he was born next birth like in a demon's body, Vritasura. Anyway, this is very educational. It's a learning curve for all of us. So we have to be equipoised and not to be elated while some offense is happening, not to show a smile or laugh during such incident. This is a very sad moment anyway when such offenses happen. Anyway, Hare Krishna, Nitai Gaur Hari.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
आक्रम्योरसि दक्षस्य सिद्धधारेण हेतिना चिद्दन्नपि तत् उद्धर्तुं नासंयो त्र्यम्बकस्तदा.
Then Virabhadra, the giant-like personality, sat on the chest of Daksha and tried to separate his head from his body with sharp weapons, but was unsuccessful.
शास्त्रे अस्त्रान्वितेरेवम् अनिर्भिन्नत्वचं हरः विस्मयं परं मापन्नो दध्यो पशुपतिश्चिरम्.
He tried to cut the head of Daksha with hymns as well as weapons, but still it was hard to cut even the surface of the skin of Daksha's head. Thus Virabhadra was exceedingly bewildered.
दृष्ट्वा संज्ञापनं योगं पशूनां सपतिर्मखे यजमान पशुः कस्य कायातिनाहरचिचिरः.
Then Virabhadra saw the wooden device in the sacrificial arena by which the animals were to have been killed. He took the opportunity of this facility to behead Daksha.
साधुवादस्तदा तेषां कर्म तत्तस्य पश्यतां भूतप्रेतपिशाचानाम् अन्येषां तद्विपर्ययः.
Upon seeing the action of Virabhadra, the party of Lord Shiva was pleased and cried out joyfully, and all the bhoots, ghosts and demons that had come made a tumultuous sound. On the other hand, the brahmanas in charge of the sacrifice cried out in grief at the death of Daksha.
जुहावैतच्चिरस्तस्मिन् दक्षिणान्यावमर्षितः तद्देवाय जनं दग्ध्वा प्रातिष्ठद्गुह्यकालयम्. Hare Krishna.
Nice.
Virabhadra then took the head and with great anger threw it into the southern side of the sacrificial fire, offering it as an oblation. In this way, the followers of Lord Shiva devastated all the arrangements for the sacrifice. After setting fire to the whole arena, they departed for their master's abode, Kailash. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. It's a short chapter, this one.
Hare Krishna, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. So Daksha killed, verses 22 to 26. Virabhadra beheaded Daksha using the sacrificial cutting block, thus becoming a sacrificial animal, and threw his head into the sacrificial fire as an oblation. While Shiva's followers cheered, seeing Daksha's death, the Brahmanas grieved. Shiva's followers then set fire to the whole arena and departed for Kailash. So, in a war, usually there will be one party will win and the other party will lose. Usually it is like that. And so in this incident, it shows that the followers of Lord Shiva had won the battle and Daksha and his followers lost. Anyhow, but the lost, if we examine in from an unbiased point of view, the loss is on both sides, because the person who died, Daksha, is the father-in-law of Shiva. So there is not the real gain when one's father-in-law is killed, is it? And also on Daksha's side, if we examine, Daksha's daughter died, Sati. So this is all lost. So there is no gain in such conflict. If we examine from an unbiased point of view. So the whole point is that we need to be always try to practice Shuddha Bhakti. And in Shuddha Bhakti, there is no consideration of loss or gain, or fame or infamy, or happiness or distress. We are meant to be equipoised in any condition and to be fully surrendered at the lotus feet of Hari, Guru and Vaishnavas, and practice Shuddha Bhakti. In this way, we will be, it is the safest position, it is the safest path to try to attain to Shuddha Bhakti. And in Shuddha Bhakti mode, our prayer goes on as follows: Vishwambhara Vishwera Kalyana. So there is no animosity or enmity towards anybody. We become a well-wisher for everybody as we pray Vishwambhara, Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Vishwara Kalyana will bestow his mercy and bring auspiciousness to one and all. Hare Krishna, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Thank you so much. Yes, wonderful, wonderful. Good description. It's a factual chapter, this one, all about the destruction by the followers of Lord Shiva, of Daksha and his followers. So yes, and I take on board your comments. Shuddha Bhakti, very important. Thank you. So any questions, any other comments by anyone? Okay, let's continue. Hopefully next Monday should be absolutely fine. So thank you so much, everybody.
Yes, Prabhu, next Monday is okay.